and gentlemen, to F1 car versus F2 car for this week's Italian Grand Prix. Obviously, if you don't know, this week sees the Italian Grand Prix, which means, of course, we are obviously going to be using Italian cars, or Italian Formula 1 cars anyway. So, this week you can expect to see the Ferrari, the Alfa and the Toro Rosso, 3 cars of course, and yeah, we'll just see the difference between them of course. Now, one quick thing, I want to pay my respects once again to, obviously, you know, Anton Hubert, who died, and for that reason, I'm not going to use the BWT Arden car, because obviously that's the car he died in, okay, and I think, you know, it'd be disrespectful to use it for the rest of this, you know, sort of thing. So the only cars that I'm going to use from now on will be the Trident, MP Motorsport, the Campos, the Charles, Prima, Russian Time, Dams, ART, and obviously Carlin. Out of respect, obviously, to BWT and Arden, of course. I feel like it'd be the honourable thing to do now. I did use it, I know, in one of my other videos, you know, and I drove his Formula 2 car, yes, as a tribute, but I think that is then where that car should stay. It should be stayed in Spa, nowhere else, really. So, anyway, obviously, what it means, we're going to do 3 different cars, and the cars we're going to use today, we're going to use a Campos MP Motorsport, and I'm going to use, obviously, the Charles, which is Ferrari's junior team. So, let's get today's video underway. Obviously, Italian Grand Prix circuit, a circuit we all love, okay, I think, you know, no matter what kind of race car it is, you know, it does deliver good racing, and not just the racing, it's the fans here, I think, more than anything. The Tifosi, of course, the Ferrari passion, of course, this week, and that's what this circuit's about, you know. It is about, you know, Ferrari, it is about, you know, Italian motorsport, nothing more, nothing else. I honestly love this circuit though, as well. Obviously, Monza, closest team is, I believe, Ferrari. Obviously, even though, you know, I am including Alfa, they're actually based in Switzerland. But anyway, here we go, first lap of the day. Then here, we're gonna only do 2 laps, so obviously in any of the cars, just to reduce the time, because, you know, I think that's the best thing to do. And we go down into the first corner, then probably braking a bit early than for that corner, but don't want to get braking zone wrong. We power our way out anyway of the first right left chicane, then down the second straight. No DRS, only 2 DRS zones here, despite it's mainly all straight. So, you know, I always think, you know, you probably could put DRS zone here, well, everywhere really around here, I think. Anyway, into the first of the 2 Lesmos, of course. Then, as we go into now the second Lesmo, pretty good through there. Open up the DRS now, and just use the power again for straight line speed. Now, obviously, top speeds here, you more or less reach them in all the cars we'll drive this weekend or today, because, you know, it's such a short circuit, but also long straights. In terms of lap time, I don't actually think there'll be that much difference between the cars, between an F1 car and a Formula 2 car. Maybe 15 seconds at most, but for whatever reason, that invalidated, really? Let's have a look whether or not it was over. I thought it was just about on the limit. I wouldn't have said it was over. Let's have a look whether or not the game's right. And yeah, the game is technically right. I don't think we would have gained time through that. Like, if we gained anything, we would gain maybe less than a tenth. So that's our first lap down. Obviously, what does a lap count as? Well, a lap has to be significant, so, you know, it has to be at least, you know, we must have done majority of the actual lap for it to count as a lap, obviously. So, you know, obviously that does count. Okay, we probably would have done 130. So let's try and go a bit faster than here. Obviously, DRS is actually active on these Formula 2 cars. That's one thing I wanted to point out. As we head into now turn 1, I think that was a bit better. As we now open up the car and looking to just use all its straight line pace that we've got here. And obviously, again, opening up the car. We then go down the next straight. Into the Lesmo. Not greatest middle sector, but, you know, it should be good enough to get a lap time on the board. Now, obviously, Formula 2 cars, of what I'm aware, they're all spec cars, so the only way you can actually make up time is actually through setup change. Because of what I'm aware, all Formula 2 cars are running more or less same wings, same, you know, engine. Again, they're wide, hopefully. For crying out loud. Now, I'm going to try and do just another lap. Because I do think if we can get in a lap, you know, so long it's good, we should be fine. Right, here we go then. It's just that final corner right now that's buggering me. Alright. Obviously 6 gears in a Formula 2 car. I'm not actually too sure what engine they use, but powerful enough to go 200 miles per hour. Well, obviously that's DRS assisted, don't forget, so without the DRS I think they achieve about 190, so, you know, still powerful though. 190 ain't exactly, I wouldn't say bad, you know, 190 is still pretty good. That's about the same as what, V6? V8, sorry? So, I don't think they use V8s, because it don't sound like a V8. Someone actually wouldn't mind letting me know what engine they use. That'd be more than appreciated. But anyway, first lap time is about to be hopefully set. Hopefully this time we don't have any problems in Parabolica through the Ascari chicane. And obviously a lot of these corners are different to maybe how you would have taken them in older cars, of course. Right. That time, I think we can get on a lap here on the third attempt. Yes, we can. It's a 1:31.9. Let's see where that puts us. It puts us 800 then there. So, not bad to be 800 then. We're going to now go on to our second car, obviously. Obviously, we're going to go for the Campus, and then I think it was the Churus we said. So, next up is the Campus, obviously. As I say, you know, we don't know whether or not that time is good enough. So, 1:19 is the actual time. So, obviously, again, we're gonna, you know, hopefully have a decent lap. So obviously gonna try and hopefully go a bit faster on this second line lap. So engine sounds a bit different in this car, in the Vex Tech, or in this car. It certainly does sound a bit different, I think. I don't know, it sounds a bit more like there's a bit more grub sort of there. Anyway, down into the first corner. We're actually a 10th up right now. So obviously certainly maybe a bit more straight line speed. Not sure how this one does in the corners, but we've already found another 2/10, so pretty good. Obviously in these Formula 2 cars it's good to just find marginal time, I always say. Through there, probably losing a little bit actually, but just taking a slightly more central line down into the Ascari chicane. Oh dear, no. So I felt like the actual first part was actually nice, and it was actually, we hooked up really well. Just that second part, got a bit too greedy, and yeah. So, lost in the second part. Anyway, we'll sort of go round. I've used a flashback just because, you know, might as well. Then so we're gonna have to restart anyway. So it's a 131.9 that we've got to beat, of course. As I said, I'm not too sure where that lap time really puts me, or how good it is anyway. Here we go then. So this is second attempt in the Vex Tech, obviously, in the campus car. No, too deep. Way too deep. Alright, third attempt, sort of, I guess. Now the thing about these cars, I always find that the best way to get best lap time out of them is you've got to be very smooth with how you drive them. You can't really throw them around like maybe a Formula 1 car. So, for instance, you really want to be hitting your apexes, like, and yeah, I think you can get a bit more earlier on the power with them, because there's a bit more lag, I find, in these type of cars. It's only lag a little bit. In terms of braking, you sort of got to brake a bit earlier than certainly a Formula 1 car. You can certainly tell a bit of a difference between a Formula 1 and, you know, this type of car. So, actually a bit down here. I'm just gonna let this one count because we're a bit down, and yeah. So there we go. That's the lap time I got out of this car. Obviously, the campus, and not good enough. 132, so certainly slower then. But the whole idea is to see which, obviously, or how, what's the difference between this, obviously, and the next car. So 132, you know, obviously 132.2, so weren't bad. I'm not sure whether or not that's good anyway. Like, I don't really drive these Formula 2 cars anyway. You know. So here we go, this car certainly feels a bit different, 100% different, obviously, it feels so much different already, we're not even in the first corner, I don't know, it just feels maybe a bit more lively, I would describe it as, certainly in the straights, and out of the corners, a bit more punchy, possibly. First sector a little bit down. But yeah, certainly in the corners feel like got a bit more downforce actually, which is unusual to say. But also a little bit less drag. It also feels a bit lighter. And that was good, like, Ascari. So, 3 temps up, more or less, so it's going to be a good improvement. It's a 131.6, so that is a good improvement. And we're now going to go onto that second lap. See if we can improve a bit more or any more. Do actually get a better exit out there that time. So, you know, in a way I guess we have improved already. Just a little bit. And that's what it counts. Certainly felt like I hooked out for just a tiny bit there, turning that first corner. And again, just another tiny improvement. Like, that's what this lap's about, just tiny details now. It's not necessarily about the major details. Again, pretty good through the Ascari chicane. So, again, I think it should be about 2/10 improvement. Let the car now drive itself. So yeah, 2/10 of the improvement again. So there we go then. So that's certainly a improvement, and there we go. So we've done the 3 laps then, so 131.3 obviously, which ain't bad I don't think. Now we're gonna see what the F1 cars are like. First up is, you know, Toro Rosso. Obviously 32 is, well, a 32.3 is actually the worst, 31.3 is the best. So, you know, obviously we want to at least be a few seconds, if, well, when I say a few, like, you know, 15 seconds quicker I would have liked to see. But, you know, obviously jumping from a Formula 2 car into a Formula 1 car isn't easy, of course. But the way you sort of drive them Formula 2 cars, you certainly got to be, I'd say, quite smooth on the throttle. But also, I feel the more and more you actually drive it as well, the quicker you naturally go. I know that sounds rather, you know, simple. I guess, you know, the more you drive a Formula 1 car, the faster you could go as well. But, no, certainly with these Formula 2 cars, the faster you drive it, I always find, the quicker it sort of goes. So, you know, if you drive it, let's say for an hour, I'm pretty sure for, you know, longer, you know, you'd be very, very quick, you know, after that, you'd sort of reach your maximum, like, you know, don't get me wrong, you're not going to improve by, you know, a second or 6 seconds or something crazy, you're not going to improve into Formula 1 territory, but I think you can certainly find a second, you know, from driving, well, from the more laps you do. Like, certainly do adapt to it. Anyway, need to sort of adapt now to the Formula 1, this car as well, to get represented. Now, the time I expect, or the best time I expect, will come from, obviously, the Ferrari, you know, it's the quickest car it should be anyway, naturally on paper. But here we go then. Obviously, I don't expect a slow time either from the Toro Rosso, and we now go down into turn 1. We're only going to do 1 lap from this type of car. As we now open up the second part. So 1 lap from each of these next 3 cars. Just to give, you know, just to sort of represent, like, time. The first of the 2 Lesmos. Second Lesmo then there. We now power our way down the back straight. We're now powering ourselves down this back straight towards Parabolica. I'm gonna use a restart because I want to get in a lap. Anyway, I don't think that lap was like particularly excelled. Alright, let's try and go a bit faster now. Every little bit counts. Like, every small detail is a big detail in these cars as well, once again. Whew. That was quite close to the gravel track. We were literally right on the curb there. Now think about any circuit like this. Cover curves are flat. You sort of want to sort of not abuse them, but certainly use them a little bit more maybe. So quite a lot of curves here are quite flat. Sunny here, as you can see. So sort of lean on them a little bit. Now, I am going to count this, so long we don't run wide or so long we don't spin or use a flashback, I am going to count it. So, sort of doing what we did. So, as I say, so long we don't run wide, and we didn't, so I'm going to count that. It's a 1:23.0, so not the quickest. So only less than 10 seconds, about 8 seconds quicker, obviously. I don't think that was our best lap ever. I hope not anyway, because that's not good if it was. Like, so we're only, well, we're about 8.3 seconds quicker right now in the Toro Rosso, which isn't great, you know, don't get me wrong. considering the record last year was 19. But anyway, we're now using the Ferrari pad Alfa Romeo. Obviously, technically, Alfa Romeo, Italian company, is an Italian brand. They do have a lot of Italian people working now for this team. And they do have an Italian driver as well. I forgot to mention that, Antonio Giovinazzi. So, technically, is this the most Italian team on the grid? Like, you know, or is it Ferrari? Ferrari has, you know, certainly, well, Ferrari don't even have an Italian driver, Italian team principal, or Italian, you know, or Italian media person, really. So, even though Ferrari, you know, but also I think the thing about Alfa Romeo, it is a more relatable brand, I think, to the people of Italy. You know, don't get me wrong, Alfa Romeo is a very relatable brand. People do relate to them a lot more as the, like, car of the people of Italy, I guess. Like, you know, and even if you're not from Italy, I think, you know, Ferrari, you know, it's got a rich history of producing the finest sports cars, where Alfa, you know, is a bit more budget, you could argue, and works a bit more within the means of money, and providing a sports car for the man, or for the average working man sort of thing, not for, you know, maybe, I don't know, the Queen, or, you know, or the King, you know, or the Prince. You know, that's what Alfa is. It's not necessarily a royal brand. I wouldn't have ever associated it with. Like, I think everyone who associates to Alfa is certainly, I'm not saying poor, but more in hardmanship sort of thing. And going through harder times, or, you know, less money in the back pocket to reach out from. So, you know, that's the way I associate Alfa anyway. I don't know where you associate it, like, you know. And don't forget, Alfa is still the Italian or the Ferrari family. Same actual person really designed Alfa, and still part of that Enzo Ferrari family. So, you know, obviously, you know, considering, you know, it's still part of the Ferrari family, I think, you know, it still, I guess, then makes Ferrari equally as Italian. Obviously, they use Ferrari engines. As well, just thought I'd say that, because obviously, being a Ferrari power team makes them also, again, more Italian. We just chuck the car through that middle or Ascari chicane, so this is going to be probably the first real half decent lap. As we now go into the final sector, it's a 1:22.4, so that's another second really down. We'll just see if we can improve slightly. Can, then that's good. If not, then I've got no sort of real problem. But right now we are improving. So long it stays green for most of the way, or doesn't change massive colour to red, sort of thing. I'll take it. So far, so good. I'm gonna just see what we could do, because didn't gain too much, I don't think, through that small, I guess, corner cut. Let's see. Right now we're a 10th down, so obviously, don't think could have gone much faster. Yeah, not much. Very little then there from the Alpha. Obviously, I think that was pushing it very much to the max then there, more or less. So next up is the Ferrari, finally. Obviously, you could argue the one with the most heritage of Formula 1, the most heritage of this circuit, and obviously the most Italian of Italian teams, of course. What other team do we associate winning a championship with apart from Ferrari? It's been Schumacher's dream to drive for Ferrari. It is many drivers' dreams. Even Hamilton admits it. He wouldn't mind driving for the Scuderia Ferrari ever, you know. But right now, he's always obviously said he's not in that position, but we are today in that position here. So we're about to find out how much quicker is a Formula 1 car, certainly a top one anyway, than a obviously average midfield car. And we head into that first corner, obviously, and already found half a second then here as we now head out. So we're already flying then here in the Ferrari then, and obviously that gap will just increase ever so more as we go on this lap, as we head through that left right chicane, and again gap just getting bigger and bigger than here. We're 6/10 up, so half a second we found anyway in the Ferrari. And the way it just rides the curb or the bumps is quite phenomenal. We're going to go for a second lap, see if we can improve any more. But, you know, first lap, pretty impressive, I think. 9/10 of the improvement, which is quite phenomenal. And, you know, 9/10 between an Alpha and, you know, it's still not much, but yeah, it's enough. So I feel like this has been a bare lap in terms of how we've kept it. Literally right over the bumps. Anyway, we're just going to finish this lap, even though it's invalid. We'll just take it. So we're about 10 seconds actually. Yeah, 10 seconds. So yeah, 10 seconds quicker then is a Scuderia Ferrari, certainly in the game. Obviously, you may get different results. Do bear that in mind and factor that in, please. You know, so you may get different results if you're quicker at the game anyway than myself. But that's the results I've got. 10 seconds is this car quicker than a Scuderia Ferrari then. So yeah, that's the results then. Thank you for watching. Obviously, I hope you enjoy the Italian Grand Prix weekend. I will do more videos and more content prior to the Italian Grand Prix weekend. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. Until then, guys, have a great day. See you all next time.